Good evening, YouTube. My name is Kip, and this is America Bumper to Bumper. This live stream is Car Chat with Kip, and I thank everyone who watches this now and watches it later. So thank you, everyone, for coming in and hanging with us. We're gonna give a minute for some people to show up here, and then we're gonna go and go into our normal stuff of where the channel is and where we're headed, what we're planning on doing as far as videos and whatnot. And we'll do that. All right. Start out. We're gonna go and we're going to. There we go. We're gonna start out with a channel update, where we're sitting, what's going on with us. Hey Grant, how are you? Glad you're here. And we have lost a couple of subscribers. Hey Jason, what's up, my man? Lost some subscribers over last week. We're down to 383. Probably because I haven't been putting out a lot of content, because I just don't have a lot of stuff to do at the moment. But hopefully that'll be changing over the next week. Yes, it will be, because we're going to get back into the how well it was made videos. We also have a non-car video coming up where we go to our local TJ Maxx, we buy a bunch of food and then try it all out and see what it's, whether we like it or not. So keep an eye out for that if you're into non-car content. But overall, it's where we're doing. We got almost 67,000, total views on the channel, and still have a long way to go before we're close to the, getting monetized. Let's go and sorry, I didn't get to shout out the live stream last night. Yeah, no, that's not a problem. Grant, I always throw it in the last few minutes before you guys get off, just so hopefully somebody sees it. Not a big deal. Where we're at with the Facebook channel or Facebook page, we have, let's see, 845 likes, 862 people are following, and we also have, which I know some of you have seen already, we have started a America Bumper to Bumper group. So if you know of anybody likes car content, wants to add stuff, please, by all means, go into the group page, put stuff in there. Love to have all the extra content there. So let's hop into our first story, which I know both of you guys did a lot of. Hey Walt, how's it going? Did a lot of SEMA stuff. I'm not going to go into a bunch of it, but I found as I was going through a whole big slideshow of different Gladiator builds, I found this one, and I gotta say, this one kind of really drew me in, because I remember
when Jeep started making trucks.
When did Jeep start making trucks? Originally?
Yeah, I guess.
Jeeps, I think they, did, Willys, which was what Jeep started out as, made trucks during World War II. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there, but commercial or consumer Jeeps, 60s. Anyways, this going back to this. Sorry, my son was asking a question for one of his friends. This particular Gladiator really interests me because there was such a huge what do I want to say? There's uproar when the CJ7 left production and it went to the Wrangler, and they went from the round headlights to the squares. So I was finding okay, Gladiator started in 1964. Yeah, the Gladiators, there's like 68 different pictures that I could look through and show you on just Gladiators. I'm not going to waste time, but this one, like I said, there's a lot of hate on the square headlights in the early Wranglers, and yet now we have this 2020 Wrangler build has the old, or sorry, Gladiator build. It's got the old square headlight from the Wranglers. I just want to get your guys' thought. What do you think about that look? Because I got to tell you, I think that looks pretty good. Whoa! Hey, oh gosh, I can't. Massachusetts Prepper. Thanks for coming in here. I'm very happy that you're here. Yeah. Nacho's dad, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. I hope everything's going well for you down south, Massachusetts Prepper. But anyways, again, back to the Gladiator. What do you guys think? What do you think about the square headlights on this Gladiator? I think it's cool because, of course, I was too young to really remember, the CJ5 and 7 and the round headlights as much as growing up in the 80s and seeing the Wranglers with the square headlights. And I knew friends that had some, so it always has had a bit of a cool place in my heart. So discuss amongst yourself. Put down in the chat whether you dig the square headlights on this Gladiator. But I do have to say, holy articulation, Batman. Not a Jeep guy. All right. A lot of people make a big deal of square headlights. I was like, man, yeah. So this is, I'm not going to go through it all because there's 140 different slides. But I was going through again, saw this lifted Camaro with the brush guard and everything, and the lights on the roof, and thought, damn, that looks pretty good. There's a couple more pictures here. I'm sure that's a wrap. The wrap looks wicked on that. And I'm not usually a guy for lifted cars like this, but there have been a few that have been really cool. This is very cool, and I also liked Roadkill did Challenger that they lifted, which I thought was pretty cool. But that thing is just intense. We'll go through a couple more. I'm always a freak for third-gen Camaros, especially like this one because it's got the functional hood louvers that you don't normally see. And I did put it, so yeah, okay, I want to make sure that you guys are actually seeing and not having me talk out of my... Anyways. So anyways, this is a pretty cool Camaro. That's interesting. Looks like it's got something other than an LS, or maybe it's the V12, LS-based V12 that people are talking about, because that definitely looks a little bit bigger. Ads. Yeah, that's a V12. Nice.
Did you guys not see?
It's a sweet looking Camaro, 69 Camaro. Diffuser in the back. Not bad. Camaro. Okay, that's definitely an interesting build right there. Wow. 50th anniversary Hot Wheels. Looks like a Copo car. Looks pretty wild with the lifted off, making it look like it's doing a wheelie. we'll go through a couple more of these, and then we'll get on to our next story. Pretty good looking ride right there. It's got a Corvette, the LT5. That's what it looks like, anyways, in, under the hood there. Maybe it's the LT4 that's in the Z06. Either way, blown car, pretty cool. LT4. All right. I love that GM puts their thing right on the blower, so you know exactly what you're looking at. Yeah, nice carbon fiber. And interesting. All right, enough Camaros. And if you guys weren't in Straight Six, Six Fan and Old Car Auto Guys live stream from last night, just go over, check it out. Did a lot more on SEMA and some good stuff there with some insider information. So, hey. Now we're going to look at the fastest American muscle cars ever. And our first car to look at is the 2020 Chevy Camaro. Tough to see out of any current Camaro coupe thanks to the gun slit windows, but it's easy to see that the 6th generation of the car is easily the most sophisticated and satisfying to drive. Top ZL1, 650 horsepower supercharged 6.2. V8 does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Dang. That's quite. And the great thing about the Camaro, it's too bad that more people don't get more involved, but you've got everything from 275 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder all the way up to 650 horsepower in one chassis. It's a car for everybody, but not enough people are seem to be interested. All right, next up, we got more on the Camaro. 2020 Ford Mustang. Latest, hottest ever Mustang is available with a 310 horsepower 2.3 liter 4. That would be turbocharged. Excuse me. 5 liter Coyote is where real muscle to the pony. Dual overhead cam, 4 valve per cylinder, and screams to 4,400 red line. Coyote in the regular GT is rated for 460 horses, while the bumped up to 480 in the limited production Bullet. Cool. And 526 horsepower, 5.2 liter Coyote in the Shelby GT350. And then, of course, you've got the amazing 760 horsepower GT500 that's coming out soon in 3.3 second 0 to 60 time. Absolutely insane. Of course, you got the Charger, and it's Hellcat and Red Eye and all the other variants that you can get from the Challenger. Anywhere from 305 horse in the V6 all the way up to the supercharged 6.2 liter with 707. And now track only, of course, is the Track Pack 2020 Challenger, but you can get the 1,000 horsepower Elephant in it. And if you've got the Challenger, you're going to have the Charger. That you also can get, of course, with the 707 horsepower or 717 wide body. However, you cannot get the Red Eye in the Charger. And of course, now the car that we're going to talk about again a little bit further on, about the 2020 Chevy Corvette, says it'll have a the 0 to 60 time, I think they were saying, is like 3.2 seconds, something like that, out of the stock Z51 package. That's pretty insane. So great looking cars, great amount of power, and I really kind of dig that shot with the car off the ground. All right, so there you go. Cars, the fastest American cars. On more General Motors news, the Lordstown plant, as you can see by the headline, has officially been sold to an electric truck startup. So Lordstown, Ohio plant had built the Chevy Cruze. I'm sure there was something else that was being built there. But when they stopped production of the Cruze, of course, Lordstown was idled. And then part of the reasons why the company, why the union workers went on strike was because of GM backtracking from production at Lordstown. So now they have ended up selling the plant to a startup electric truck company called Lordstown Motors. This is a rendering of their truck. This truck they're saying, is going to be available next year. That's quite ambitious for them just buying a plant. And it usually takes, car companies, well over a year before they retool and then, actually designing, getting the, everything up and running, getting all the crash, making enough of them to get crash tests, all that other, good stuff. So I think it's ambitious, but we'll see how that goes. Look at the side rendering. On the rear, definitely looks interesting. I guess I see a couple of cuts for tailgate, but kind of interesting. And it said that I read right on here that something that's going to make this truck a little bit different than others is the 4 in-wheel motors. So like hub motors, I think is what some people call them, and that's what's going to power the truck rather than one or two, maybe even 3 inboard motors. So that'll be kind of an interesting thing. And it says right there that it's far from ready for mass production. So again, I think they have a bit of a pie in the sky for this vehicle, but it's always a good thing if they can make it work. Now, this company, LMC, Lordstown Motors, is associated with another electric company, Workhorse. It says right up here. Workhorse is in the running to get a contract for new electric mail delivery trucks for the U.S. Postal Service, and they're saying that that could also be built at this facility. And I do agree with you, Walt. The Lordstown truck definitely has a lot of GM look to it, futuristic GM look. So, we'll see how everything goes there. All right. The 2020 Porsche 911 Turbo S is getting a bump in power and torque. And that's according to Car and Driver. They drove a pre-production versions of this car, but Porsche has told them that the 3.8 liter twin turbo flat 6 will be producing around 641 horsepower, and it's going to be linked up to an 8-speed PDK automatic. So nice little bump in power. 641. That's pretty good over the last turbo. And this one gets newer, bigger turbos, for more boost, and the intercoolers are changed to give the better cooling for the intercoolers. So interesting looking car. 2.7 seconds, 2.5 seconds, 0 to 60 claim, and 590 torque. So not that I'm going to be able to afford one any day soon, but that's some pretty good power for the Porsche. And on to electric news, which I hate talking about, but it is the future, apparently. The Tesla Model 3 is the most most efficient electric car sold. EPA has special standards for plug-in hybrids and the electric vehicles. It's a mile per gallon equivalent. So basically, it's something like how much energy it takes to go the equivalent distance as a gallon of gas or something like that. I don't really understand it as well, but the Tesla Model 3 beat the Hyundai Ioniq Electric to become the champ of the EPA's efficiency. Let's see what we got here. The Ioniq Electric had been the king with a MPGe rating of 136 miles per gallon combined. Hyundai, however, put a bigger battery and increased the power of the motors, which changed everything around for them and bringing it down to 133 miles per gallon equivalent. The Tesla Model 3 gets 141 miles per gallon equivalent. So, all right, and there it is. If you're a little lost in MPGe talk, we'll make it super simple. The Tesla Model 3 will go an estimated 141 miles on the amount of energy a single gallon of gas contains. So there you go. So, yay, Tesla. All right, now we're back on to the 2020 Corvette. And as the headline states, it's being postponed. The production is postponed till February 2020. That's sure going to make some people upset because they were hoping to get theirs, especially Street Speed 717 was hoping to get his in the end of December, being one of the first. But due to the strike, that pushed production of the C7 back a bit, which is then pushing back the retooling of Bowling Green to get ready for the C8. So February 2020 is now the expected delivery date for the first 2020 mid-engine Corvette. I don't know if you guys were paying much attention. Jessie Combs, she had lots of different TV shows. Discovery, Speed Channel, I think, had some, she had something on there. I think TNT, or TNN, Spike, whatever it is. She had several different car shows doing lots of different things. Girls Garage, I think, was one of them. She was also a speed freak, and unfortunately that speed led to her death back in 2 months ago. And they've now figured out what was the cause of her fatal accident, and that was mechanical failure of the front wheel. So most likely it hit an object on the desert floor that they were doing this speed test on. It collapsed the wheel assembly. Car, and this is the thing that just blows my mind. You sure saw it right up here. 550 miles an hour. That's insane. But she unfortunately died of blunt force trauma to the head, and that was before the vehicle went up in flames. So sad to see someone die anytime, but someone that had nice Stan. Someone that had roots into the same sort of stuff that me and so many of you in the chat, do is definitely saddening. And just for fun, we're going to rank the most popular, or I'm not, but Motoring Research has ranked the most popular classic cars on Instagram. So we're going to go through and take a look at what's the most popular cars on Instagram. Why not? At number 20, Toyota Celica Supra. And this is the predecessor to, before they switched the nameplates into two separate vehicles. But the original Celica Supra has been tagged over 122,000 times on Instagram. Remember the first time I saw her when she was, yes, yeah, I completely forgot she was on the host of Overhauling. Yep. Anyways, she's definitely been around, and it was, a bit of a shock when I heard about the accident a few months ago. So, hey, Benny, thanks for coming in. And to answer your question about the medal for the Lincoln, I would absolutely love to get it, but I don't want you to, go. If it was going to be an easy thing for you to get the pieces and get them to me, that'd be great. But if it's going to take, jacking the car up, getting the tires off, all that other stuff to do it, I'll get it figured out at some point. So don't worry about it. Thanks, man. Okay, number 19 on our list, the Pontiac Firebird. To be honest, I thought this would be a little bit higher. This has been mentioned 133,000 times. Still pretty good. Another one that surprises me that it's on the list at all, classic Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. And this has got more mentions than the way more iconic VW Bus or Beetle. 159, almost 160,000 mentions. That is interesting. This one is, again, I thought would be a little bit higher on the list, the Ferrari Testarossa. This has got to be one of my all-time favorites, right along with the Daytona. And I think the other one that would be really is the California Spider. Of course, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but this Testarossa, or the Testarossa name, has had 168, almost 167, 69,000 mentions on it. So another car, not surprising, because there's a ton of Impalas around. But the Chevy Impala is sitting at number 16 with 182,000 mentions. Winner sucks. Hey, Pete, thanks for coming in. And yes, it does. We only got a bit of a dusting with snow all day today, and it was definitely, I'm not liking it already.
I'm loving it. Not sponsored.
Says the guy who was going to walk to school in shorts today.
Yes. Number
15, Porsche 944. Again, kind of surprised that the 44 is on the list at all, but nice. 196,000 mentions. Again, this one I thought would be a whole lot higher up the list, but at 14, the Lamborghini Countach. That has 196,000, just eking out the ahead of the 944. I love that. Even looks good in white. Get the shipping cheap. Yeah, I understand that, but as I said, typed in your video there, Benny, I haven't found it. That one set that I found was a guy that lives somewhere in the area. I think more in the New York area. I can't remember who it was or numbers, anything like that. So that $150, I can't even pay that anymore because I don't even know who to find to pay it to. If you can get it off, and you can, shipping again, if we'll talk about, sometime you and I can get into a brain doesn't want to work. Anyway, we'll FaceTime or something like that and talk about it a little more and see what it's going to cost to actually get it here. But thanks for doing that and taking a look for me anyways. Appreciate it. Kujosh, not a popular car, but that is the point. Yeah, practical, definitely not practical. I think all he wanted was, that's the thing that I really was like, wow, about was $15 for both of them. That is, even if shipping would bring us up to that $150, I'm okay with it because again, I have not, it's nearly impossible to find that, those chrome pieces. Anyways, for the rest of you guys that don't know what's going on, I watched a live stream that Benny, Classic Ride Society, did at a junkyard in his area. He happened to have a Lincoln Continental that has some chrome pieces that I need for my car, and hard to find pieces. All right, back to the list. Number 13. This one doesn't surprise me at all. The AC Cobra. 216,000 tags. Jag E-Type again. Not terribly surprising. 224,000 mentions. This, is something that does surprise me again, because there just wasn't a whole lot of these things made. The Ferrari Enzo, 248,000 mentions on Instagram. Yeah, another one that definitely doesn't surprise me. Golf Mark II, 321, almost 322,000 tags. Porsche 993, 911. The last air-cooled 911. That's got a ton of mentions at 383,000. Ferrari F40. That's one I'm not surprised, even though, yes, they didn't make a ton of these either, but more iconic in styling, in my opinion, than the Enzo. 444,000. Seen the Enzo in person. I had one in Tampa. Ooh. See, I have seen a Countach in person. I have seen a couple of Ferraris, but I don't think anything that's been on this list. All right. Old Firehouse. That's a cool thing to do, yeah. Porsche 356 has more mentions than the other Porsches on this list. That's kind of surprising. 462,000. If I was stupid and had the money to blow, the F40 would be it. I could go with that, Pete. Yep. Number 6 on the list, as we keep going down, is the Datsun 240Z. That doesn't very much surprise me being on there. Good thing, not stupid, Pete. Yeah, good one, Jason. Definitely. Thing was with Ferraris, especially some of that stuff. It's only going to get better, price wise or collectability wise. So, if you're in it for the money, good thing to buy. So the 240Z, 471,000 tags. This is really surprising. Toyota MR2. That's kind of an interesting car to have more mentions. 476,000. DeLorean. Again, that's kind of an interesting one, but then again, it's got some history with Back to the Future for 517,000 mentions.
Yeah.
Okay, no. The Cameron didn't have more than the Beetle. Okay, my bad on that. This one absolutely would. You know, does not surprise me at all. 1.54 million tags. And number 2, bus. Okay, then I read that thing wrong with the Carmen Ghia. Anyways, this has 230 more hashtags than the Beetle. Still 1.54 million. And number 1, the RX-7. Okay, 1.69 million tags. The RX-7. That's weird. I did not go through this story, so I'm not sure much about it. But apparently, a huge barn find, collection of cars being sent to auction, and this is over in England. We'll go through the pictures here. 134 or 135 vintage vehicles being auctioned off. Let's look at a few of them. So we got an Alfa Romeo, we got a Jensen Interceptor, looks like a Datsun 280Z, Porsche, can't tell and can't tell. Look at that, we've got a Citroen, Scirocco, Range Rover, 6 Series BMW, another 6 Series BMW, Land Rover, looks like a Lamborghini LM002. Yeah, the it's hard to say collection, but yeah, when they've been mistreated, but definitely a lot of cars. Something sexy back here, and we got another look. Okay, it's a couple other Porsches from that first picture. 928 Scrambler in that photo as well. Yeah, I thought that was a Scrambler, but I couldn't quite tell whether that was actually Jeep or a knockoff. Cool looking, anyways. 928 would be the classic Porsche that I would buy if I were to, in the market for one, if I had the cash. Some reason I've always liked the shape of these, the look, the pop-up, headlights, the way, they worked and all that stuff. So that's my car right there. No Careflow. MGs, a bunch of MGs. No, Benny, you were talking earlier that you like the GTs. There's 2 of them. Bunch of other, probably junk in there. Love the 928. I'm right there with you, Pete. Mercedes SL, another 2. Well, almost looks like 3. I think there's another one over here. 6 Series. Range Rover, of course. T-Bucket over in the UK. Cool. Yeah, another Range Rover. Yep, and there's that. Again, I don't know what that is, but that looks pretty sexy right there. Oh, I even missed there we go, a little closer, but missed the turbo Celica, probably the GT4 sitting right there. That's a find, as long as it's in good condition. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but I do like it. T-Bucket with a Hemi. Nice. What if that's like a knockoff or something of a Lotus Europa? You know, somebody modified something there. We got an 8 Series BMW. The front end looked like a Lamborghini, but that is definitely not. And back to one of the other pictures. Oh, Rolls Royce or a Bentley. Now, overseas, so it's not something we'll ever get our paws on, but some interesting looking rides there. All right, we got one recall. What's this barn? Yeah, that has to be a big one. But then again, as you mentioned earlier, it's been looks like a lot of those were sitting outside, so probably not so much of a barn. We have one recall to talk about really quickly before we get into buy it or boot it. The 2019 Mazda CX-9, excuse me, is being recalled over a bad batch of tire rubber. So I would think that would be more of a tire recall than actually a car recall, but then again, I understand why. Don't worry too much, people. 146 CX-9s have the issue and they're being recalled. Is again 146, not 1,000, 100. No, 146. So if you own a 2019 Mazda CX-9, you may be getting a recall notice if you're one of those 146. All right. That does it now. While I'm getting everything ready for the buy it or boot it, guys, think of a city and price range, and let's.
Are you going to do my city this time?
Oh, sure, Grayson. What is your city again?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay. Orleans, Louisiana. All right, guys. Give me a price range. Okay, we'll get to yours in a second, Pete. Let me find it. Write that down. 28207. We'll do a couple in New Orleans because I didn't do that for Gracie last week we were here, and then we'll go into your zip code. 10K and under. Okay. Done. Let's go to 10,000 and under. All right. Nope. Got a 928. Don't know that that's going to be worth it at $3,000, but let's maybe go back to that one. Let me know what you guys see and want to look at. Old car is too rusty down in the Big Easy. That's yeah. Let's look at that caddy. Too much grass around the 928. That's very true. Yep, there's way too much grass there. Anybody want a hearse?
Yes.
What do we got, guys? Anything that tickling your fancy that you guys want to take a look at? This is, of course, with every show them wagons. All right, we'll go and hit a wagon. Got a Roadmaster. Got the hearse. Okay, let's look at this funky looking 94 Caprice. And then Daytona and the El Camino. That's what we'll do in that order. We'll do the Daytona next for you, Pete, and then Jason will hit that El Camino. All right, so what we have here is a 1994 Caprice wagon. 214,000 miles on it. Runs and drives like a top. Has the LT1 and the extra transmission with the extra transmission cooler. Rear windows are vinyl wrapped. Has fender skirt, depot fender skirts, smoothie front bumper, and all lower door moldings deleted and repainted. Everything works except AC. Needs an evaporator. It does have a new compressor, dryer coil, and all other AC components installed not too long ago. 20-inch Bosch 338s in the front. Front suspension has all new bushings, ball joints, brakes. Shocks installed 5 years ago. Factory springs have one coil cut. Oh, never cut coils. Anyways, I have a set of 96 Impala SS gray door panels, good armrests, blah, blah, blah. And apparently the only like. Hey, Sean, how are you? That is interesting, to say the least. I don't think it looks good with those skirts. That's just me personally. And it looks just odd with the rear windows wrapped. But what do I know? I do like that front bumper. That is nice looking. I would go $2,500 because of the air. Yeah, so this car is, they're looking for $3,280. $2,500 definitely seems fair, especially with the amount of work you're going to have to do to make the car look presentable, in my opinion. No offense to this gentleman or lady and what they've done to the car, but that front bumper does look good. And the fact that it's got the LT1 in it, right on. So $2,500 says Pete. What do we got from anybody else? Buy it or boot it. $3,280 for this 94 Caprice with 214,000 miles. Needs a lot of love. Yeah, it definitely does look like it needs a lot of love. And we haven't even got to the interior. Tub it, LS swap, drag race it. I like where you're thinking, Sean, definitely. All right. 25 is cool. Yeah. That's a 1,500 car here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Ooh, I guess I'm coming to Dallas-Fort Worth because I would love one of those. Even if you have to, work on it. And 1,500 around here, they're completely clapped out, rusted, nasty, and I'm sure cars are in much better condition than DFW. All right, next up, what do we have? We had Daytona and then the El Camino. So let's look at the Daytona, and then we'll come back to the 79 El Camino right above it. So cool. All right, 1988 Dodge Daytona. Not bad. It's a the 2.2 liter turbo, 5-speed, T-tops, AC, runs good. Oh, but he doesn't have to sell it. So don't get your hopes up. You're going to get a good deal on it. There's definitely a lot of potential in that wagon. I wonder why they cut down that photo. Looks like a couple of legs inside the car there. That reflection. What do we got here? These weren't the bad. Yeah, it's definitely a young bum. I actually preferred the previous generation looks, of the Daytona. Although this one was kind of cool because it did have the pop-up headlights.
Oh.
Does have the 5-speed. That interior is pretty nasty. Or maybe it's just clean. Radio, subs, and an amp. And that turbo engine. All right, guys. $3,000. Buy it or boot it. Does have a T-top, so that's pretty cool. I like, I'm definitely a T-top guy. Love T-tops.
Yeah.
Only issue I have with Daytona is that it's wrong wheel drive. Couldn't agree with more with you there, Benny. Similar to the Laser. Yep, until the Laser went to the Mitsubishi Eclipse and Eagle Talon body style, but used to be a real world conversion kit back. Nice. Got it. 6x9s. Yeah. She's rough. I'm not. I wouldn't pay $3,000 for it. That's just me. Boot it. Would be cool. Rear wheel drive. Absolutely. Boot it. All right. Let's take a look at this 79 El Camino. Let's see. 61,000 miles, auto trans, red with red interior, custom paint. Oh, not a whole lot of details on this. Got the front end conversion from the Monte Carlo SS. Yes, Benny, I do believe you are correct. There was a Shelby Daytona. I don't care, mods. Any posts say that. Always assume that whatever has been done, it needs to be done and redone. Yeah, I agree, Sean. Yep, so it's got the conversion to the Monte Carlo SS front end, which, to be honest, I was never really a fan of that conversion. I don't think it looks as good as the normal front end, but again, that's just me speaking out loud. Yep, definitely looks like the SS front end. Bed line, looks like a Rhino bed liner or something like that. Stick? No, not a stick. Definitely looks like an older tack put in there. Some other gauges down here. And I don't know about you guys, but right now, oh, the JVC head unit definitely makes it worth the $99.99. Sorry. I am don't know about you guys, but I would boot this thing. I don't think it's worth $10,000 at all. I would say about half of that, 5,500 maybe, but no, ugly. She ain't got no. Yeah, she's ugly, definitely. Not a good looking car. Not worth the money in my opinion. Nice set of rims. Nope. Nuh-uh. One of those LQs at the auction tomorrow. Might go check it out. Yeah. So I like El Caminos in general, but I'm kind of more of a purist. I do like the stock front end better than the SS conversion. This particular style is my second favorite to the 70s El Caminos, late 60s and early 70s El Caminos, but I love it. Party working front, party in the back. Cool. Yep, I'm gonna say booted on this one too. Seamus, be quiet. Sorry, guys. All right, let's switch it up. We're gonna go over to the 207 Charlotte, North Carolina for Pete. Let's take a slow crawl through here. See something 69, 70s. Yes, I agree. Those were like the top dog, El Caminos in my book, but the 80s aren't terrible.
They're
Yeah.
capturing.
So hit me up. Let me know when you see something you'll like here, and we will start talking about
What the fuck was
Charlotte,
that?
North
Why did you
Carolina.
not go in?
Fan. I'm live, dude. I know you're playing your game, but beard is coming along nice. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. It'll be a day or two till I catch up to anywhere close to you, but yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm in Charlotte in April. Nice. Now you have to check to see if any of these cars are still available when you go out in April. Well, I heard that. All right, what are you guys seeing that you want to take a look at? Oh, I'll be there also? Well, hey, you guys should meet up and do a collab. That'd be a perfect time for you guys to, get together and meet each other and have some fun. I'd love to get down there too, but Charlotte's a long way away from Vermont. Okay, what are you guys seeing that you want to look at? Auto fare is ridiculous. Cool. Buick wagon. All right, go back up and find the Buick wagon. Buick Estate wagon, 1970. Nice. See a Firebird. All right, we'll hit Firebird afterwards for you, Sean. You know what? The funny thing is, I'm not even concerned. I wouldn't even be concerned about that dent in the fender, although it's probably going to be hard to find a replacement, but hey. Okay, what do we got here? 70 Buick Estate wagon, $4,500, 156,000 miles, auto trans, gray with brown interior. Inventory reduction, price reduction. Looking a very solid 70 Estate wagon. Excuse me. Wagon has a really nice body except for some damage on the right front fender. Yep. Runs and drives great. Auto trans 400 engine. Interior is nice except for the sitting part of the front seat. All right, that shouldn't be too bad to fix. You can own this vehicle for only $4,500, reduced from $5,000. All right, 90-day layaway. Whoa. 4 equal payments, 30 days apart, and take possession. Oh, just take Amtrak. I'd pick you up. Well, maybe I can. We'll make that work out. Well, we'll have to keep talking about that. Maybe we'll do that. Yes, I gotta say, so far I'm not gonna read through everything, but let's see. Whole lot of nothing. Basically, the important information's up top. 400 big block. 400 is the 400 a big block? Anyway, 400 V8. Ooh, that is a crunched in fender, but I actually don't mind it. I would drive it as is. Well, it needs a marker light. Not a big deal, I don't think. Definitely very Chevelle looking in the back. See a bunch of old cars in the background. It's a red flag, dealer flipper alert. Oh no. Yeah, well, I kind of had that thought when it said reduction sale. Well, that rock underneath the rear tire kind of makes me a little anxious as well, but that's interesting. Ooh, well, needs definitely needs interior work. Oh, and the car once was green.
What was it like jiggle? That was weird.
Show me that engine. Headliner, back seat. Definitely needs some interior love, and that fender. But that's, definitely not going to get that straight. But that's not terrible in my opinion. All right. Anyways, let's get back to it. $4,500, guys. Green light. Buy it. Boot it. Is the engine included? Yeah, I would say that the engine's included, but that's some of those cars in the background definitely look rough. Duct tape will fix the seat, maybe even a few $100. All right, probably get that wagon for under $1,000. Wow, $2,500. Well, the thing is, I would actually pay the $4,500 for it because you don't see anything like that up where I am. I'm sure Jason would agree because I think he said, well, you said it was straight. You didn't say you'd buy it, but Walt, you can agree with me. You don't see this sort of stuff in even this rough a condition around where we are. So this is definitely a $4,500 vehicle here. I would pay it. But you guys, if roadkill that home, let's do it, Jason. Let's go and get it. That could be your next project. Put it through the upright, says Benny. All right. All right, so mixed bag on that one. Old and Pontiac didn't have big or small blocks. Okay, good to know. All right. There is, I think I saw another. Nope. Okay, so take a look at this clapped out 77 Formula Firebird. Looks like it's probably that, yep, same dealership that's got the Buick Estate. No engine or trans in that Nova. She definitely looked rough. $3,000. No engine, no trans. Take a quick look through the pictures. Hey, Jason, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you, staying as long as you did. Have a great rest of your night. And I do need to talk to you at some point about dealership stuff. So maybe we'll hit you up tomorrow or, sometime soon. But have a good night. Body looks solid. South Carolina. Oh, maybe I put the wrong zip code in. Then again, a lot of people, oh, geez, that interior. I know that a lot of people, 28207. Yeah, okay. Well, all right. We'll hit up tomorrow and buy the wagon too and put the 400 in the Pontiac. That's a good idea. No deal to had there. Flippers aren't going to give you a deal. Very true. All right. What else did you guys see? Yeah, it's definitely on the parts car. Let's go. Maybe one or two more cars here, and then we'll call it a night. So, well, let's. Well, you guys are coming up with our last car. I want to take a look at this BMW. It could be in Alaska. Yeah, I found a really great car, something I normally wouldn't even take a second look at. Had it local, it was up in the local, but the car ended up being in like South Carolina or something. So, all right, we've got an 81 BMW 6 Series, a 633 CSI, 185,000 miles, manual transmission, green with beige interior. This is also at a car dealership. Bummer. I'm not going to go to the website, but let's just take a look through the pictures, and you guys let me know whether 6,500 is worth it for this Beamer.
Oh, that was great.
Got one of those 6 Series. Yeah, I thought I remember you saying that in the live chat. I love these cars. I've always loved the 6 Series. Go put the kids to bed. Thanks, Sean, for staying in as long as you did. I really appreciate it. Have yourself a good rest of the night, and I will try to stop in and hang out for a while on Sunday. That's pretty clean looking car. I like the BBSs. Let's get to the interior. I don't know. Not bad. It's a little dirty. Definitely manual. Back seats need some love. Seems like that's pretty indicative of the 6 Series. The seats are pretty messed. 700 at auction. Nice. Oh, 87, 700 at an auction. And you're putting an LS in there. Nice. That will be a fun car. 2 sets of BBSs. Yeah, those I always love those wheels. Just look good. They look good on a lot of different cars too. Yeah, 182,000 miles. Huh. I like it. If I had $6,500, I might pay that. What do you guys think? Buy it or boot it?
Buy it or boot it.
All right. Anybody see one last car that interests you?
Yeah, but
Boot it, boot it, boot it. Gotcha, guys. I got that Classic Cars of South Carolina has a ton of cars here. Galaxy. Okay, still find the Galaxy. Lincoln Mark 7. Okay, or Mark 4. Okay. We'll do the Mark 4 and the Galaxy, and then we're gonna call it a night. All right. Well, hit the Mark 4, sooner. So we'll do the Mark 4, and then I'll find that Galaxy.
Okay.
Is it an 88? Old's 98. All right, we'll find that one too. Start off with this Mark 4. $3 grand. Wow, the patina on that thing. You're looking at a very solid, 76 Lincoln Continental Mark IV, 30 years in storage. We have it running and a new gas tank sending unit installed. Super nice, 460 V8. All standard features, all the standard options of a loaded Mark IV. Could use a paint job, you think? This is again at that South Carolina place because it's a 30, 4 equal payments and blah blah blah. Galaxy, 2 photos down from Mark IV. Okay, I'll get that one up for you, Walt, and we'll take a look at the Olds 98 or 88, whichever one that is. Let's look through some pictures here. Holy Land Yacht Batman. Oh no. Junk those Lincolns here all the time and in better shape, I bet. 30 years in a trailer. Like the opera windows. Interior looks good, surprisingly.
Watch front plane. Yeah. I wish you could shoot through the flash of shield booth. Yeah.
94,000 miles. Cartier edition. Ooh. Videos on these in the air. Yeah, I think I've watched a couple of those videos. Sending unit. Thought they said the sending unit was in. Right, okay. All right, guys, $3,000. Buy it or boot it. Oh, yep, there's that Galaxy. And then let's see if we can find that. Oh, 98. All right, so we got our last two cars. We got the 64 Galaxy we'll take a look at in a minute, and the 67 Olds 98 needs engine work. We'll look at that for our last vehicle, and then we're going to call it an evening. So let's get into the Ford Galaxy while you guys decide whether the Lincoln Mark IV was worth it at $3,000. 64, and this is that same dealership, South Carolina, classic car or whatever. 64 Ford Galaxy 500. A lot of fiberglass body parts, making it super light. Okay. Front and rear bumpers are fiberglass, as is the trunk lid and front fenders. Own it for $4,000. All right. Only the hood had patina. Yeah. Tough choice. Not boot it. I like that, Pete. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, but
No.
I don't know. $4,000. And I understand fiberglass is cool, but I'd rather have an all original car. Doesn't even say what what it's got for a motor in it. Probably doesn't have one. And that fiberglass looks like shit. Excuse my language. You'd have to do a lot of work to get that when you go to paint it to make it look good. It's covering something up. Hey, Low Lit X, thanks for coming in and hanging with us. Appreciate it, you being here. Oh my gosh, look at the no floors. Yeah, it's got a little, it's definitely lightweight. Right there, you can see all the lightweight. All right. Keep going through if you want. Yeah, they'll get engine this fiberglass. Yeah, I bet you that's the case as well. It looks like it has a bit of a back seat or back floor, but well, maybe not. Yeesh. Rough. All right, guys. I think I know the answer to it, but you guys can put it in there as well. Buy or boot the Galaxy. And our last vehicle, this Olds 98, is also from that Classic Cars of South Carolina. Used heavy nap roll of glass. Yeah, definitely. $3,500. Inventory reduction sale. Where we heard that before. New paint recently. Decent interior. Needs engine work. Okay. $172,000. The big boot. I like that. Yeah. It's definitely a couple $100 car on that Galaxy 500. Definitely a rough rod, says Walt, and I couldn't agree with you more. All right, let's take a look through the pictures of this 6798. Do like the front end look of that. And again, boat. Good, he definitely has, recent paint. You need to find yourself a new lock for the trunk. And I'd hate to see what it looks like underneath that vinyl top. Interior isn't bad, but it's also not that good either. The switch is all broken out there. No horn cover or center cover. Not a bad looking headliner. All right. Very classy. Nice looking exterior. Interior isn't too bad. But knowing that you got to put an engine in it, I don't know. 3,500 is worth it or not. I'm going to leave the last little bit of that up to you guys to let me know. And that is going to do it for us for tonight. Thank you guys all for hanging out and going through Buy It and Boot It and everything else that we've done tonight. Really, really appreciate you guys' willingness to hang out for an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to end this like we do all of our videos. Dreams without ambition is like a car without gas. You're not going to get very far. God bless. Take care. Have a great rest of your weekend.